Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm so glad you're joining me as we celebrate Julia Child. I never had the honor of meeting Julia, but it has been such a joy getting to know her through the stories that my guests on Kitchen Chat share. So today we are going to celebrate riding in cars with Julia. And we have three of her friends. The first is Jim Dodge. He actually serves on the Julia Child Foundation Advisory Council. And then after that, Dory Greenspan and also Sanford D'Amato. So let's celebrate Julia Child.
Probably the funniest story was, I would pick her up and we'd go for lunch and she'd decide we were going to go. And so I'd get her in my red truck, which she loved. It had running boards. It was up high. She's so curious she could see everything. And I think she loved that it was red too. And so I said, where are we going for lunch? She said, Costco. I paused and I said, Costco? All I could think is, what are we going to go and sample eat the samples? I said, what are we going to eat at Costco? And she's going to sighed and said, Jim, don't you know they have the best hot dogs? I said, no, I didn't know that. So we went to Costco and had hot dogs and Cokes. No Diet Cokes, but Cokes. And then people would walk by and they'd look and they'd say, hey, I think that's Julia. And they go, oh, no, it couldn't be. Julia wouldn't be eating hot dogs at Costco. It was very funny.
Dory Greenspan.
Julia and I were, we were working, and she said to me, let's play hooky. And so it was during a time when we were taping. And I said, sure, what do you have in mind? She said, we can go to the supermarket. Julia's idea of, playing hooky and having some fun was the supermarket. So she said, we can go in your car, right? So I have a red Miata, which is, about the size of this cup, right? And it's a convertible. She said, but we can't put the top down because of my hair. We can't muss my hair. So Julia was tall. She was almost 6 feet tall. Getting her into this jelly bean was essentially like an origami, exercise. Right? But we go to the supermarket and we're walking around. People are stopping her. She taught some young kids how to know when a melon was ripe. I mean, everybody. Julia was, anybody could approach Julia and she would talk to everyone. And at some point, she put her arm around me. And she said, we're so lucky. And I thought, yeah, well, of course I'm lucky. I'm right here with you. She said, we're so lucky because we work in food. And that means that we'll never stop learning. We'll never stop learning. And I thought, you're right. You're right. And every time I start a new project, every time I think, I look at the project and think, what can I learn?
Sanford D'Amato.
We were flying back to the Waukesha County Airport, and as we were flying in, Julia's aide was Gabriel Sayer. She looked out the window of the plane as we were about to land, and she said, "Sandy," said, "come over here." And I looked out the window. She said, "What is that?" And I looked out and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's the Wienermobile. They sent the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to pick us up." And Gabriel looked and she said, "I don't think so." And Julia looks out the window and she says, "Well, I think I'd like to go on that Wiener bus." And it was like, "Julia, where have you been all my life?" So transpired, as surreal a situation as I've ever been in. we're driving down I-94 in the Wienermobile with Julia Child, blowing our Wiener whistles as the Oscar Mayer theme song is going out over on the inside and outside of the Wienermobile, and people, the cars are beeping as they pass and waving. So we pull up to the Pfister Hotel, and they have the DeLorean style flip up door, and the Wienermobile opens, and this whole Wiener curious crowd is already gathered because it's the Wienermobile, and out strides Julia Child. Obviously the tallest chef ever to walk out of the Wienermobile. Yeah, it was just what an experience.
Thank you so much, dear foodie friends, for celebrating Julia Child with me today on Kitchen Chat. I hope that you will learn more about the Julia Child Foundation. You can find them at juliachildfoundation.org. And I hope you'll follow me on Facebook, Kitchen Chat, and Instagram, Kitchen Chat. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info, where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.